Patience, so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language. Now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Welcome back, guys, to another Sunday with Man Translation. This is like my favorite way to spend my afternoon. After you guys have been out and doing whatever you do out and about, and you come and you sit back and you sip on some tea or you have some wine or whatever your preference is, and you just have a really good conversation, a really good healthy conversation with us here at Man Translation about your relationships, and the different kinds of relationships and all the things that you have to deal with and go through because there's so much going on in the world today,
It's too much
that
going on
nobody
for
wants
real.
to just sit down and just have a conversation about all the stuff because things have to be processed. And when you have
Mm-hmm.
conversations, it gives you a chance to look at things and to process it. So this is where we come and we talk about romantic relationships. We talk about Dante having some technical difficulties, but we're going to keep the show going. We talk about relationships and families. We talk about work relationships. We talk about all kinds of relationships and how to just have a better quality of life because if we don't get good at relationships, it affects the quality of our life. And I don't think people make that connection a lot of times. And so I started the show so that we can really have the hard conversations, number one. Number two, I started the show to be able to bridge the gap of my generation and my son's generation. Because a lot of times in the African American community, it's not popular for mothers to have healthy relationships with their sons. And so I didn't want to bring on my male friends. I didn't want to bring on another girlfriend. We see that all the time, but we don't see the dynamic between the African American mother and her son. And so I thought that would be a really good dynamic, to show and to also show that, we don't always agree and we don't always have to agree. Agreement means that we can bring our different perspectives and puzzles to the piece to make a whole. And so, Dante, you okay? You all right?
Listen, the whole I done turned the dang thing off. Yeah, I'm good now. The battery died, although it was supposed to be charging, but whatever. It's fine. I'll figure that part out later.
So
Let's
I am
keep watching.
Sky C. I'm the CEO and producer, and this is like my baby, my brainchild. This is where I'm cutting my producing teeth and learning. We're learning cameras and lighting, and as you can see, Dante is having some technical issues, and this is Dante V, who is our relationship and communication strategist, which is really an awesome thing because I was talking to my daughter the other day and we were talking about some things that she was like, well, I don't want to do that because I don't really have the confidence. When I first came on social media, oh my God, I started out on Periscope. Confidence comes by doing. The more you do it, the more
Mm-hmm.
confident you become in it and the better you get. When I first came on Periscope, it used to be, oh my God, y'all, I used to be just a nervous wreck, but it was something that I knew that I was supposed to do, and it was something I know that I needed to do, and it was something that I had to say. It was like, let me jump in this thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I have grown leaps and bounds, and I have learned a lot. I was offered to have my own show I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to learn the behind the scenes. I wanted to learn the lighting and the equipment and, just all of the fun stuff to me. To me, stepping out in front of the screen is really the easy part. All the work happens behind the scenes with the editing and all of that, trying to market and shop and talk to the different people in the industries, and all of that, because I want this to be a quality show. And I want us to talk about subject matters that have substance. I don't want it to be a debate between men and women because men and
No.
women think differently. We don't think the same. So we have to learn how the other one thinks. So this is really about getting understanding. And that's what relationships are really about. We have a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings in relationships. So tonight we're going to be talking about how do you bounce back after after a breakup? We're gonna talk about what things to do and what things not to do. You
Because I
know.
got a whole list of things not to do. Whole list. And this
Well,
is this is this is leading by example.
I wanna put some disclaimers out there. So I think I might have been misunderstood on the show because oftentimes I talk about that I'm not that I don't want to be married. So I don't want people to get the idea that I don't like men because I do. I don't want people to get the idea that I don't need a man. It's just that a man in my life is just not a requirement. It's not something that's required. And in order for you to understand that perspective, you have to understand what it means to be an introvert. I am an introvert with extrovert tendencies, which the definition of that would be an ambivert, which means I can kind of do both, but I am more prone to being an introvert. So what does that mean? Being an introvert, and I am a true introvert. And the thing that's so crazy about it is that people think that I'm an extrovert because I'm social, because they get the wrong idea about the definition of what an introvert is. They think that being an introvert is shy and you're socially awkward. No,
Nah.
being an introvert means that you draw strength from being alone. That's what it means to be an introvert. It means that you draw strength from being alone. When you're around people too long, it drains you.
Ooh, Lord.
It drains you. So when
People don't
you're an
understand that.
extrovert, they draw strength from being around people. So when the pandemic hit, the extroverts were going through it because they had to now be by themselves. So when you're an introvert, like I am, you draw strength from being alone. I get more things accomplished being by myself. I do know how to come together with a team. I do know how to come together in community. I do know how to come together in fellowship. But I am at my absolute best when I'm by myself. And so, because I'm older, that's just my preference. I do not prefer to have anybody. That goes for children, grandchildren, that goes for anybody. And I know that you
Sure.
probably have never heard anybody say that. But I'm not the type of person that requires my I have 4 children, and I don't require them to have to constantly keep in touch with me and call me and you can come see, you can come visit, but after a while, you got to go home. Okay, I love you, but you got to go home. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just don't see myself just having somebody in my space every single day of my life because I enjoy my own company. And when I want to be bothered with people, when I want to be bothered with people, and that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody. So it's not that I don't need a man, I don't require one. I just don't require one. And I have men friends. Most of my friends are men. And it's been that way since I was a teenager. Since I was a teenager, majority of my friends are men. I enjoy men. I like men. I love talking to them, interviewing them, asking them 1,000 questions about stuff. I'm very comfortable in their company. I just don't require one in my life every single day. I don't have to take them home with me. I just don't. So I felt the need to bring some clarity to that. So I don't want to come across like, oh, I hate men and I don't like men and men. No, my thing is that I just try to understand people and I just respect whatever decision people make. That's a decision that you made. I respect it. I keep it pushing. Now, as far as the subject matter tonight, Dante is going to be talking to y'all for the most part. I just want to say that it's very important the way you go into a relationship.
Mhm.
It's important the way that you go into a relationship. I find over the years of talking with people and praying with people and ministering to people that people get so caught up in the very beginning stages when they meet a person. Oh my God, especially women. Women be like, oh my, like everything the man do is like if he pick up a broom and sweep the floor, you act like he has just done the most amazing thing on the planet. And I think that you just set yourself up for such disappointment. So I don't fan out when I'm around anybody. And women just fan out. Oh, he's so fine. He smells so good. He's so this. He's so wonderful. He's so 6 months later.
This mother.
He needs every name in the book. And you be looking at them like, but 6 months ago, you were like over the
Ooh.
moon about some little thing. Girl, he bought me flowers, or he went grocery shopping and bought me a steak, or he took me to Red Lobster. And I think that to me, I think women they just set themselves up, for heartbreak. And so I'm just like, I remember when I worked at the airport and celebrities used to always come through because celebrities always coming through airports. And I would never get excited about the celebrities. So my supervisor, she was like, I want you to escort the celebrities when they come through. I just don't get up. I just don't get all worked up about another like human being. I believe in encouraging people. I believe in helping people be successful and all that wonderful stuff. I just don't fan out. Like I just don't get it. I mean, I've had one person that I was nervous to meet and then I chickened out, and that was Eric Gardner. The guy Will Smith played his life. Man, he came through the airport. He was larger than life. Like that's a tall drink of water right there. He looked like to me he was about 17 feet tall. Cause see, I've been 5'2" since I was 13, and I have not grown an inch. And thank God I'm not shrinking. So I really wanted to talk to him because we had like so much in common as far as our testimonies was concerned. But I just kind of chickened out because his presence was so huge and he was so tall and he was walking through that airport like he owned the airport. And I really didn't want to, I didn't really want to disturb him, but I really wanted to talk to him. So he's probably the closest person that I've ever come to just getting so worked up. I just think women get too worked up in the beginning of the relationships about how wonderful the man is. You don't even know him yet.
It's really more so the one placing of expectation, which always leads to disappointment, as well as them doing something that they've never experienced before. So they feel as though they have to tell everybody. So, in like
Yeah.
the same level to which you love someone,
Yeah.
when you're disappointed, it's like that level of love now turns into hate.
Yeah.
Which is why you after 6 months, it's like, well, this mother, well, this, that. Well, he only did this. Where before, like, oh, he was doing this and buying flowers and this, and I never experienced this. And it's like now you're used to all that. The infatuation worn off, and he's just another MF in the house making you mad.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it turns, it seemed to me like 6 months is the point. It just really turns. But you were head over heels six
Be-
months
But
ago.
but also it's also a thing where when you got something like you get a brand new car, you want to drive to the corner store. It's not until it's like, all right, gas prices is high. Everybody want to ride. As all these things happen, you start to actually mature. Like, you know what? Let me chill. Let me start walking to the store. Let me start doing this. Like, let me not drive as much. So when you get into that new relationship and you just around each other 24/7, yeah, it's gonna get old fast. Don't you have a house? What did you do 6 months before I met you? Why are you always here? Like, why is this the thing? Like, space is important. Let me miss you. Let me let me go a couple of days without you. You being an introvert, me introvert. The whole recharging thing is very serious because when you're around people, like people, introverted people will hang around people who do not drain them. That's key. If you're draining, we don't want to be around you. We're gonna stay home. Thus, hey, I'm having to get together at such and such what's the name time, and the introvert gonna ask you who all gonna be there. Because if it's key people that's gonna be there, they're going to be annoying, they're gonna be draining. I'm only gonna be here for 15 minutes and leaving. Same thing in relationships. Give them a chance to miss you. They have a life. Let them go live their life. Like clingy is cute at first. Now it's like it's hot. Get off me. Go home.
Clingy is never cute. I don't think clingy is
I
ever.
mean, to an extent. I mean, to each his own. But to an extent, yeah, it's nice. It's cute in the beginning. But after a while, it's like, why get off me? Then you just start doing extra stuff, and it's like, you know what? You know, I shouldn't have came over here. Let me go and get my stuff and leave. And while you getting
Like
up to go get some water, I'm in my
cycle,
car
but people they repeat this cycle so much. Like people be
because they
breaking
missed
up,
the lesson.
and that's what I want to get to too. It's like they break up like none of their relationships don't last long. Like, and if they do
Because
past a certain time frame, they're miserable.
yeah, because it gets to a point where you're not in a good situation. You made it last this long. You think you can make it X amount of time or years or whatever. Whereas though you're literally every day you're forcing yourself in a situation where you don't want to be. You have all the answers. You have everything you need to get up and say, you know what, this ain't it. And you don't. You stay there. And then you do something crazy like cheat when you don't want to be there anyway. Just leave. Hey, this ain't working. Like, what
I
people do
think
not
people I
understand
think
is
people don't leave because a lot of times we already know that people don't like being by themselves, so they're not leaving.
that, well, as an introvert, I can say that that's not a problem of mine at all. Um, I prefer it. Of course, if you have somebody in your life that you love, of course you want to be around them, but you don't want to oversaturate it either. Like, space is the thing. I ain't got to be up underneath you. So, yeah, I'm gonna miss you. I will express that I will miss you from my house or in my car, leaving your house.
But most of the time, when relationships are new, people they try to spend every waking moment, with that other person. It's almost just overkill, and they're together all the time, like Siamese twins. And then when the novelty, like you talked about the new car, that new car smell does wear off.
Yes, it does.
It does wear off.
It does.
And in relationships, those things they wear down. So that's why for me, I think it's really important the way you go into a relationship. If you're allowing somebody to sweep you, off of your feet, and you're making a big deal because somebody bought you some flowers. And I think it's a situation where you're allowing people to treat you a way that you haven't treated yourself. You're allowing people to give you things that you haven't given yourself. If
Hmm.
you take good care of yourself and buy flowers for yourself and treat yourself and travel and do all these things and buy yourself whatever kind of purse or diamond ring or whatever. When somebody does those things for you, you appreciate them, but it's not new for you. It's something that you've already done for yourself. And I think a lot of times people get so head over heels and swept away by another person because they're just doing things for them that they've never done for themselves or haven't been exposed to. And I don't think that's really
Hmm.
healthy. I don't think that it's healthy. Like if I want to buy myself a house and I meet you and I'll be like, you know what, I'm saving up my money and I've been saving up for a really long time to buy myself a house. And then you go out and buy me a house, I'm not going to accept it
No, because it's something that you want to do for yourself.
because I'm not ever going to allow anybody to do anything for me that I haven't done for myself. And I think that is the problem. That we want people to do things for us that we have not done for ourselves. And so, let me buy my own house first. And then down the line, if you want to buy me a house, if we still together, or whatever the thing is, it could be anything. It could be a pair of shoes, it could be a tennis bracelet, it could be whatever it is. Allow me to do this for myself. And I think that's what the issue is because women, I'm telling you, I've seen women just lose their mind because a man did something for them and they just think, oh my God, he is the one. And people don't realize a lot of times in predatory relationships, in the love bombing stage, they're going to bomb you with a lot of stuff. They're going to bomb you with all kind of gifts and flowers and all of that. So to keep your emotions so high, because when your emotions are really high, you don't see those red flags.
Nope. Just like when you got that new car. Everything is good till you got taken in for maintenance. You start looking at it different. I got what? Old change.
Yeah,
Oh,
when they
we
love
good.
bombing you, you just be like, oh my God, he bought me flowers. Oh my God, he did me this. Oh my God, he did that. Oh my God, he fixed my tire on my car. Oh my God, he did this. Oh my God. And you just be looking at them like, are you serious, girl? I'm gonna need you to calm down. Like calm
Huh.
all the way down. Women be over the moon for anything that a man does for them or gives them. And it be tripping me out. I'd be like,
Yeah,
child.
I don't think that there's no middle ground because if you do something for them, either they're happy or else, what you want? Why you doing this?
That's not see, it's for me, that's not how a relationship is supposed to be. It's supposed to me, you're supposed to get to know the other person and like be excited about some project thing they working on to make themselves better. It's like, man, you know what? I
Yeah.
signed up for these classes and I'm getting ready to learn how to be a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, he really going for his dreams. And, those are the things to me that should really excite you. Not the fact that, you know, he's doing something for you.
No, no. Society states that they want the man that's going to pay the bills, take them on trips, and do everything. The gimme, 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 gimme. And
Yeah,
then when the man's like, "Well, what were you doing before I got here?" It's like,
right.
um, you don't need to be here. Like
Yeah.
now that's a thing because we live in a gimme society.
So we're not really enjoying the person for the person. We're
No.
just with the person for what they can give us. That's always going to end in disappointment.
Well,
That's never
yeah.
going to work. That's never going to work out. Mm-mm. Like Gabrielle Union just came on and said she does 50-50 with with her husband. Child, y'all are roommates. I've been saying that forever. I've
I
been saying that
mean,
forever. I don't believe in 50-50. I believe in 100%, 100% in relationships because
yeah,
anything you give 50% to is a failure. 50% is a failure. 50% on the test is a F.
right.
F.
But again,
F.
that's what society states. That's what they see it as. It's like, let me give 50, you give 50, and then together we're 100. Like, no.
No.
If this is supposed to be team effort, and you giving 50, you get benched.
You getting benched. You getting benched. And I've been saying that for years. Oh, we split. No. You're supposed to bring 100% of yourself to whatever you do, whether it's a relationship and like you paying 50-50 and he got millions of dollars, child, please. Yeah, you a roommate. Y'all not, no. Because if that's the case, you might as well just pay for all your own stuff and he might as well just pay for all his own stuff then. That's might as well just like do that. And then and she was saying because, they carry, people in their family. They have to take care of people in their family. No, you don't. The people in their family got to take care of themselves. Mm-mm. You ain't got to carry nobody in your family. Nope. The only people that you probably have to, or that you should look out for is your parents. You ain't got to carry nobody in your family. You don't got to carry your brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins and all of that. Who told you had to do all that? Where they said to do this at? Mm-mm. It's amazing how people add all this extra stuff to things. That's why people are so miserable. Y'all put too much into the equation. Anytime you add all this extra stuff to the equation, the answer gonna always come out wrong. Y'all add too
Yeah,
much.
it's too much.
You gotta keep things simple. And as you get older, speaking from the older generation, as you get older, life becomes more simple. You start simplifying your life. You start to see that you brought all this complication where there didn't need to be any complication. Things get more simple. You put all this
Mhm.
pressure on yourself to do and all these expectations for yourself, and it don't even really be about all that. It really don't. It's about enjoying the company of the other person while you're with the person. And until I see you next time, if I see you next time, I might not want to see you no more.
Hmm. People don't. Okay. No, because people think that there's an obligation to certain things. Like, yes, we may be together, but I don't have to be over here all the time. Like, I got things I need to do too, just like you got stuff you need to do. Now, granted, we be in the same place doing the same, you working on you, I'm working on me. Absolutely, yes. But if you love me or like me how you say you do or claim you do, then you will understand how I operate. Go home. I ain't cheating. Ain't nobody over here. I like the stuff I paid for. I want to occupy the stuff I paid for. And I want you to do like you had a life before me. Continue on with that. Go out with your friends. Do what you do. Be here. I might send you a text, check upon you. Hey, you good? You all right? You straight? Let me know when you get home. The usual stuff. But yeah, there's no, well, how come you're not over here? I don't want to. If you don't have AC and it's 90 degrees outside, I'm not coming over.
What? And not only that too, it's like I think people don't really understand what relationships are really about. Like what's the purpose that you're coming together with someone? Just because you are attracted to someone, it doesn't mean you're supposed to be in a relationship with them.
No, no, it doesn't. But essentially, it does start out as that, but the questions don't get asked how it need to be. Like, why are you here?
What's
I'm
your
always going to ask
purpose?
that question.
What is your purpose in my life? That should be the number one question. What's the purpose that you're in my life for? What's the purpose? Everybody that comes in your life is not somebody that you're supposed to marry. It's not somebody that you're supposed to be sleeping with. It's not somebody that you're supposed to have a relationship. Let me find out, why are you here? Why are we crossing paths?
Hmm.
What is the purpose? And people just think, oh, because I'm attracted to him, that we supposed to be together. Not necessarily.
No.
So we can't even get to the breakup part because you're not coming together with the person the right way. Another reason I don't want to be married is because you want to be in a certain place when you start getting serious about being with somebody for the rest of your life. I wanted to talk about something that I've been studying, but Dante was like, no, because it's too deep. We can't talk about that. But
No, it's the only reason why I say that because it's going to take more than just 1 hour for you to actually get through it.
well,
That's
not
it.
only that too, I'm still studying it out too. But it's really it's probably going to be very controversial too. It's going to be very controversial because so many people participate in this particular thing, and they don't even realize that it's not what they think it is. And most things are not. That's what I found in life. Most things are not what you think they are. And so I think that people have to assess where they are in life. You know what I'm saying? If I can't come together with a person and add, value, I mean, I can add value spiritually, I can add value emotionally, I can add value maybe monetarily, but it's a certain level I think that you should be. You know what I mean? When I got married, neither one of us had accomplished anything in life. And so that's not a good way. If you struggling to pay your bills and I'm struggling to pay my bills, you don't have no money, your credit bad, I don't have no money, my credit bad. That's just not a recipe for a good relationship. Isn't going to be, because the number one things that people argue about is finance. That's number
Time,
one.
money, and sex.
And I think that's a barometer to let you know, are you really ready to be in a relationship, in a committed relationship with somebody or not? Because if you're not where you want to be financially, spiritually, emotionally, then you're going to do more damage than good.
Hmm.
So are we walking the journey? And like Dante said, I'm working on me, you working on you, and we are, just kind of kicking it during that process. So I think that how you come together is very important. It's going to determine the breakup. How you bounce back from the breakup is going to have a large part to play with how you got together.
Yeah.
So the five stages of the breakup, like anything else, is
Ooh.
denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And see, this is the thing. I don't feel like going through none of that.
I
I don't.
mean, not all. You probably won't go through all. I mean, in my last breakup, I think it was more like, all right, come on. You mean, granted, what you're supposed to do is you're actually supposed to look back on the relationship and figure out, okay, what could I have done better in this situation, or what this or what that or whatever the case may be. Like, what did you learn from being in that relationship? Because the bargaining, depression, acceptance. For me personally, it's really more so about the acceptance. This person does not want to be here anymore. I accept how you feel. I accept that you are taking away your presence for whatever reason. That's on you. You got to deal with that. Okay, fine, cool. Now, most people they get upset because you know they lying on my name or that's not how it went. Listen, not only do I not care, I'll never run into these people a day in my life, and I do not mind being the villain in anybody's story. Get away from me. I don't. No, I really don't. Like, I have friends, and it's like, well, I don't want them saying this about me. I don't want people thinking. Think whatever you want to. I do. If it's really that important, or you really matter to me, then you would come and talk to me. Hey, such and such to say one thing. I know that's not you. What happened? Because you want to get down to the bottom of the story. I can respect that. That's cool. But if I got to hear about it years later, oh, well, she was saying this and that and the third. Well, listen, whatever they said, believe it. Believe it. In fact, tell me more because I want to know what else I did. I mean, yes,
I think
grief,
that you
denial.
should. I think you should make those determinations in the beginning. That's what I'm saying. If you go into the relationship the proper way, then you won't have to go through all that at the end when it don't work out. When it does not work out. To me, for me, I'm just an observer in the relationship. I'm just an observer. I'll spend time with you. We could kick it, we could go out. And I'm just observing just what kind of person you are. I'm watching how you handle certain situations. I'm watching, how you handle people because it's going to determine if I'm going to go to those next steps um at all. That's why it's important to friend zone everybody. That's why everybody needs to be put in the friend zone. I just don't take that stuff seriously at the beginning, and I don't allow for anybody to come and sweep me anywhere. He just swept me off my feet. I'm not dust. I don't need to be swept anywhere. So I don't, you gotta just if you go into the relationship and take your time, that's another thing. People are so in a hurry in these relationships. They're so desperate to be with another person that they just overlook so many things. They're just so happy to be, with someone. But on this show, we talk about a lot of times how men and women think differently. You you talk about this a lot, Dante. You can think that you are in a relationship with a man and you are not.
Nope. Because people go in and they start assuming just because you're doing relationship stuff does not mean you are in a relationship. Until it's almost like you just show up to a job and you just start working and you think you're going to get paid with everybody else. Now, granted, they appreciate your hard work, but we ain't had no interview. We ain't sit down and ask you no questions. We barely know who you are. And here you are showing up to the company picnic with your family all loud and proud. Why are you here?
It's like Office Space. You ever watch Office Space?
My
I
man,
love Office Space. They
my man showed
fired
up
my man. My man
and he
was
burnt it, and he burnt that place down.
he was fired. Okay. My man came to work every day. They done moved him all the way to the basement.
Talking about we fixed the glitch. What glitch? And again, he burnt it down and took his stapler on vacation. Hmm.
You people have been fired in relationships and don't even
Nah,
know it.
you have. I mean, yes, that is definitely a thing. What you do does determine how long you're gonna be. Thus, the whole being observant. Oh, I see how like I see how you treat this person, this person, this person. What makes me any different?
And not only that, we did a show about fiance and how people fiance for 10 and 15 and 20 years and stuff like that. Like if you've been in a relationship with somebody and your intention is to get married, y'all been together 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, y'all not married yet. Like what is it? Like what is this?
You
What is we doing?
Now again, I cannot speak for every relationship because I'm not in every relationship. But some of them relationships where you've been a fiance all this long time, that's a shut up ring. You was about to leave, you nagged him, or vice versa, and you're like, well, if you're not gonna put a ring on it, I gotta go. So he put a ring on it. That's it.
That's why this show is so important that we do because people just don't know how to be in relationships. I think people just don't know the word relationship. We didn't even define. We normally start off defining stuff. Relationship means that you are relate. It's something relatable. It's something that you have in common with this other person that you want to explore more. Explore. So I'm not going to use the term dating because that's not what you're really doing. What you're really doing is vetting. That's what you're really doing. That's what you should really be doing. You should really be
Mhm.
vetting the other person from a very objective point of view. You oftentimes hear me say feelings are fickle. You cannot go through life making decisions on how you feel. You can't do it because you will make the wrong decision every single time. So you're not really dating, you're vetting. You are gathering information about this other person. And at some
Mhm.
point, you're going to make a determination. Either you're going to continue on or you're not, or you're not. Period. So a lot of times people are in relationships by themselves, and then when the other person don't want to be, in their company anymore, they take it very hard.
I don't know. It's nothing like not being on cloud nine that seems perfectly okay with me. Like I've been through the infatuation stage. It's great, but the moment you step out of it and you start seeing that person for who they are and not make excuses anymore, man, you've let so much time slip past you with being with the wrong person that you could have been taking that time out to one, invest in yourself, and two, actually find the right person.
Or if you just enjoy people, just enjoy people and accept them for who they are. Spend time with them, get to know them. If y'all can be cool and continue to kick it, cool. If not, cool. Stop being all serious all quick. You all serious all quick and all fast because you want to be in a relationship so bad. No, just give it the time that it needs, give it the space that it needs, and you know, let's just see. Let's just see what happens. That's why I said it is not a requirement. I don't really want to come across and say I don't need a man. A man is not required. It's not a requirement. It is not a requirement because I have to be to myself all things to me. Okay, and that's why I'm not easily impressed by things that people do or do for me or try to give me or whatever. It's just like, thank you, but if I'm supposed to, be head over heels, that's just not going to happen. I don't think I've ever met anybody that I was in a relationship with that I was head over heels with, period.
Yeah, I have, because I hit my damn head. That's why.
Like, in order for me to be head over heels with somebody, they got to really be all around, like, total package, amazing person. Just amazing. But just to get all caught up in somebody because they, took you to dinner or bought you some flowers or gave you a material thing or let you ride in their Rolls Royce. That's your Rolls Royce. That ain't mine. That's yours. You know what I mean? So I'm at a different place in my life. I'm not at that. I don't. And even when I was young, like even when me and your dad got together, I wasn't all head over heels, like losing my mind. It's like he's a cool person. All right. I just don't get when women do that. I just don't understand that. How they just be so taken by things that dudes be doing. Like I just don't get that.
Only because they haven't experienced it for themselves. Like no one ever did anything like that with them.
That's what it is. So when you break up, you have to spend time to examine why things did not work out. You got to spend time alone. Like,
And you have to hold yourself accountable for the things that you have done, not the other person. Well, she did this, she did that, she did. What did you do? I mean, no one's particularly innocent in this whole thing, but you have a part to play in this as well. What did you do?
oh no, I just, like if when you've been with somebody for a long time, you do become attached to the person. You do become, one with that person because it's a spiritual thing. But the breakups can be very difficult when you've been with, when the intention was to be together with somebody forever.
Oh, absolutely.
Back to them vows
But
again.
at
And
the end of the day, somebody lost sight of what the end goal, the end plan was.
it
And that has
wasn't no
nothing to
plan.
do with you.
That's the whole problem. The reason why, you know how the saying goes, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. These relationships don't have no plan. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make. You don't go in with no plan. I didn't go in with a plan. I didn't have no plan. What was the plan? Oh, you love somebody and you want to spend the rest of your life with them. That's not gonna cut it. That is a recipe for misery. That ain't, it's got to be more to it than that. It's got to be more to
Well,
it.
yeah, because love is not enough. It helps, but it's not enough. There's going to be
Love
some days
is
where
the glue that holds everything else together. You don't have no respect. You don't have no trust. You don't have no substance. You can't even hold a conversation. You don't have nothing
that's
in
crazy,
common.
man.
Y'all can't even sit down and have a conversation about nothing. You don't like sports. He like this. You like something else. He like hockey. You like soccer. Y'all don't plan. What's the plan? There's no plan. That's why it didn't work because you don't have no plan because you don't fully yet know 100%ly who you are. You don't even have no goals for your life. You should have separate individual goals for your life, a vision for your life. He should have a vision for his life, separate individual goals. And those goals and visions somehow should click. It should be similar. We should be going in a similar direction. What I'm trying to accomplish and what you're trying to accomplish, it should somewhere some dots should be connecting. Not because you cute, you smell good, you dress nice, you got a nice whip. No, none of that is going to hold nothing together. No. We should have a common goal and a common vision. I didn't have one, and that's why it don't work out. That's the bottom line. It don't work out because y'all just want to bump bodies. Y'all want to just bump bellies. There's more to it than that. What is that?
Bumping bellies, huh? I'm losing mine a little bit.
That's good. So when it doesn't work out, now you got to spend time alone and examine why things did not work out, and it probably didn't work out because you didn't come together the correct way.
I get what you're saying, but that is not going to be the thing that is going to be focused on.
No,
I
this.
mean, coming together the correct way can mean so many other different things.
But what
I
does
do
it mean
believe,
to you two? What does it mean to the people that's in the relationship? That's the most
right?
important.
No, absolutely no, because I believe that when you get into whatever, before if we're friends and we decide, okay, we're going to cross this boundary, what are we doing? What do you need? What are you required? And then, okay, you need A, B, C, D. All right, well, I don't really need that, and this, but okay. And actually make the mature, non-lustful decision. All right, we should just be friends. Or you know what? Maybe I can. We can work with this. Like, yes. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, no. Do not jump. Don't jump into anything right away because you ruin people that way. One person thinks, oh, okay, well, they're single, not realizing that they were single yesterday, And now here you come, like you are just a rebound. You are just something to do to get my mind off of whomever. That's not going to end well for her. Like you essentially just being used. Don't ruin other people because now that other person is going to go through life hating men for a certain period of time because of what was done to her. Because you needed something to do in the meantime. Yes, be honest. Don't blame or judge yourself. Life is about, yeah, it's always about learning and growing and also accountability. Cannot stress this enough. Like, hey, how come you not with such and such anymore? This is not a time to downplay your role in this and just accentuate everything that she didn't do. She didn't make me sandwiches at 3 in the morning. You're fully capable.
Do I look like Florence the maid? Like, am I the maid now?
No, because that's definitely the thing. Like, no, like every relationship I've been in, you have to look back. It's like, okay, I could have did this better. I could have worded this and that. The third. Granted, I'm not tiptoeing around anybody's block. Like I've often heard, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. Did you hear what I said? We don't have to keep going back and forth with that. Okay, so clearly this is not a thing because you're so focused on one thing rather than the other. So this is already not going to work. But I understand that is a thing with me. So if I go out and I deal with someone, they're going to have to, at that point, they're going to have to know this is how I talk. This
Why
is,
is relationships always got to be about what somebody do for you and what he did for me and what I did for you and you made me a sandwich and you washed my car and he washed my back and why does it all
well let's be clear because when you break up, you feel as though you have to bring those things up to the person you're with. Well, first things first, they already know what you've done for them. That's just first and foremost. So if you have to go out and reiterate that,
why is it
they
a requirement that
probably
you do
care.
anything for me? Why do you have to do anything for me? Why?
Because the requirements come because it's part of people's vetting process. You have to do A, B, C, D in order to get over here because people have their own test. Let me if I say this and this and it's like okay, well they're not gonna do that, so I ain't gotta deal with them anymore. So it's almost like they go through their process of elimination, and sometimes that's just it. Well, you got to pay all my bills, and you got to take me and my kids out to dinner, and so on and so forth. Like that's legitimate. That's a legitimate thing.
That's not legitimate. I am a grown woman. And whether I'm
I
with
hear
you
everything you're
or
saying.
not, my bills have to be paid. My bills are my responsibility. They are not your responsibility. See, this is the thing. People don't like when people, you cannot go into a relationship putting a bounty or a price on your own head because that's how I look at it. It's like, you automatically you go in and you so impressed because he bought you this, he took you to dinner, he did this, he gave you money, he bought you this and that. You just saying to me that you for sale and it's a price on your head. I'm a grown woman. I pay my own bills. I created the bills. Let me pay the bills. A requirement that I'm in a vetting process with you. We're getting to know each other. It's not a requirement for you to pay my bills. Because if you
But for some people, unfortunately,
are going to want something in return, I'm not a prostitute. I'm not for sale. So that take that part off the table. You don't have to do anything for me. I don't have to do anything for you. And I understand the service thing, but the service, see, this is the thing. The relationship goal is eventually, I guess you get married. The marriage is about ministry and serving of others.
uh-huh.
The marriage or the relationship is separate. See, people don't realize that. It's something that we are both supposed to take care of. And in taking care of the marriage, we automatically look out for each other.
Yeah, no, that's not what's being taught. That is not what society says. That is not the world that we live in.
Well, that's why we're here
Relationships.
to have this
No,
conversation.
again, I'm with you. I'm wholeheartedly with
Yeah.
you. Like I've said before, the relationships are about servitude. It's about, okay, how can I take care of you? I'm not necessarily looking for that, like from me, but also with that being said, it's like it is a thing. Don't be friends with your ex. I don't know. This is debatable. This is for me. It is. It's debatable. Now, granted, because I've been in some relationships where as though we've actually had the conversation where as though we're better off just friends. Now, granted, we ain't kicking it every day. We ain't talking every day, but we're definitely cordial towards each other. But as far as going out goes, it's not necessarily
When you
a
first break
thing.
up with somebody, you do not need to be friends with them.
Oh no, no! When you first break up with somebody, no, you need to. If anything, it's the complete opposite. You need to leave them alone. Leave them alone. Let them go their way. Do not. It's almost like you have to treat them like they got a whole restraining order. Do not contact. Same thing. Yes, social media. Just chill from social media altogether. Take a break. Um, mute. You can mute that other person. Hell, you can even block them. But you need to take that time out for you because they're gonna be posting. They're gonna be posting themselves. You gonna see it. You gonna try not to like it. Like it's a whole thing. Like no, just like completely back off. There's no need to respond. Um, Hell, when you break up, I think the first thing you should do is if you got anything over their house, go and get that out the way first. Don't call. If a week later come past, throw it in the trash. I'm good. If I ain't used it in the last 6 months, I don't need it.
I think the reason why, like, I think the reason why men like to be around me is because I make it easy. I make it very easy for them to be themselves. I think that people should be allowed to be who they are. I don't think that you should meet somebody's representative. And I think that if you come into a friendship or very authentic and knowing who you are and comfortable with who you are, then that frees up that person because it takes away pressure. It takes
And,
away
and,
all of
and
the
that's
pressure.
huge. And that's huge because I've said from jump, men have a lot of pressure coming into relationships
Yeah.
that we don't necessarily speak about. We don't necessarily. Oh, shit. Yeah. Don't call me for closure because you ain't gonna get much. Like you trying to slither your way back in to have a conversation about what? Listen, I don't even believe in exit interviews. I'm gone. Don't call me back to well. Was there anything I could have did better? Yeah, leave me alone.
It's over. What do you need closure for? What's closing? The door is already closed. Like, leave it alone.
Listen, I am a firm believer in once you state your position in something, stand on it.
That's
It's
it.
not like it's not like we came together, had a conversation, and we came up to the conclusion of, you know what, we shouldn't be together because of A, B, C, D. No, you sat in whatever hole you were in. You probably called one of your girlfriends, had a whole session, you, her, and some wine, and yeah, we should leave him. We should do that. And then now here I go. I got to get an exit interview as to why you ain't together. Call her. Go back and go drink some more wine. Go back to have your waiting to exhale party. I ain't it.
I think that every person that comes in your life is some type of learning experience, whether the relationship works out or not. I think that that person came into your life for you to learn something anyway. So I think that
That's
I
it.
think people take stuff way too personally. I think people take stuff way, way too personally. Like, what is it that you were supposed to learn? It didn't work out, and face it, deal with it, and just move on.
Either you were with a lesson or you were with a blessing. One of the two. And typically, if you were with a blessing, you still be with that blessing.
Like, I know people that break up, they want to go get the picture and sleep with the picture and all that. Man, throw all that stuff away. Give that man back his pictures.
When
Give him
I
back
got
his
when I
gifts.
got divorced, and I was very polite. I said, "Listen, all your stuff is in the basement. Just
Yeah.
come past, come get it." She came
Rid,
past. I said,
rid of it.
whatever you don't take, I'm going to throw in the trash. She said, okay, all right, fine. Now, for me, it's a little bit different because when I moved, anything she touched trash. Think of it what it was. It was a plate. It's gone. I ain't got nothing from that relationship at all. Now I get that everyone is different, but don't call me later on looking for something because you had your opportunity to get it. Now you got to go down to waste management and find out what lot to put it in because I ain't got it. It's gone.
Don't be listening to the music, all of that. Y'all special song y'all had together. Like, nah, get rid of all of that. Get rid of all of that. Like, because that's going to help. That's going to prolong the situation. You're not going to get over your feelings. You want to bounce back. And you want to bounce
First thing
quick.
first, face your feelings, but get rid of the obstacles out there are going to be in your way that are going
Right,
to block you from actually bouncing back from from said
right.
situation.
Exactly.
Write down your feelings. Ah,
I think that's a good. To me, I think that's a good thing because a lot of times people can't face something unless they write it down.
no, I'm gonna say it. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, everything that you did not do or prolong because you were with said person and they didn't want to compromise. So you actually ended up missing out. Go do that. And do not be afraid to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I think I put that in there. Date yourself.
No, that is the thing. Yes. And when you date yourself, make sure you ain't got no company because people definitely gonna try to slide in on your date. This for me
Yeah,
and me alone.
date yourself.
And
Spend
also
time with
another thing.
yourself.
When you are fresh on that breakup, leave them alone. Don't keep calling them back to back. Don't keep sending text messages. And I think the favorite that some people do, and it gets on my nerves because y'all be lying. Y'all be like, oh, I didn't mean to send you this text. Well, I wasn't gonna respond anyway, so whatever. Like, don't do stuff to get the other person's attention just because you want to know whether or not you either are blocked, unblocked, or something just to spark a conversation. Hey, you left your handkerchief over here. I don't even wear handkerchiefs. Why are you texting me? Why are
What?
you here? Like no, like that is the thing. You gonna wait 6 months later, then you want to have a conversation. Why?
The girl did not get playing.
No, the things we don't have do not have time for. So again, when it comes down to bouncing back off of a breakup, first thing that should be in mind is yourself, your mental. Deal with that because you're basically coming off of a form of rejection. And if let's just say whatever said person does decide to say
Wait a
something,
minute. Time out. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, no, no. No, no, no. Do not take it as rejection.
it is rejection.
It is
The
not.
definition is that is rejection.
It's not rejection,
It,
Doctor.
it
It
is
is not
rejection.
just because I don't want to be with you, or just because the relationship didn't work out because we're not compatible or we don't have
That
the
is a form of
same
rejection. That's
vision.
bottom line. It's rejection.
This is a
Case
classified that
definition.
we're going. It is not.
You can look at the definition of it might not be a major
When
one.
you take it as rejection,
It is
you're
rejection.
taking it personally.
Is no, you don't take rejection personally. It just is what it is. It's a no. No is rejection. If you go to apply for a job, you get a rejection letter. It's a no. That's textbook definition.
Okay,
If you want something, it doesn't want you. That's
when you
rejection.
get a rejection letter from your job, they're not rejecting you. They're saying that your qualifications does not match up or meet up with the culture of this company. That's
Aren't your
not
qualifications a part of you?
no.
So
My
your qualifications are a part of you.
no, what I do and who I am is two totally different things. My
So they're
my
rejecting your
job,
qualifications
my
that are
job,
you.
my job is what I do. It is not who I am. It's what I
Okay.
do.
Either
So
way,
it's
the
what
whole
I do.
package got rejected. The
No.
entire package got rejected. What you do and who you are ain't gonna work here.
No, they're not. They don't even know me as a person. When you go to a job interview, you are presenting to them your experience as far as your work history. Me as a person, they don't know me. That's one of the reasons they're interviewing you, because they're trying to see if you
And
fit
how
into
many
the culture.
and how many relationships have people been in
Oh,
and they
if
don't
I
know the
go,
other person? Marriages where the other
oh,
person doesn't know the other person? Rejected.
so
Divorce.
if I don't
Rejection.
fit into the culture, that doesn't mean that I'm rejected. It just means I don't fit here.
Yeah, no, you got rejected. Take you and that somewhere else. That's rejection. It's not a major, it may not be a major form, but anything that is a no is a form of rejection. That is it.
I'm looking up the definition of rejection.
Okay.
We're gonna see what it means, because a lot of times we think we know the definitions of things when we really don't.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the first one that pops up, it says the dismissing or refusing of a proposal or idea.
Okay, and that can be a part of a breakup. That can be a job letter, the rejecting job offer. It could be school.
It says not given approval or acceptance. The act of refusing to accept an idea, suggestion, or proposal, the company's rejection of the proposal came as a total surprise. So now suppose they reject it and you go and you change some things and then they accept it.
Okay, so they rejected you and now they accept you. That's
Okay. When someone breaks up with you or says no to taking the relationship further, it's not necessarily you as a person that's being turned down. It's the relationship that's being rejected. Ding, 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 ding. It's
but
not you.
are you
It's
not but you're still rejecting that person.
no, you're not. You're
Yes,
not.
you are. Yes, you are. You're rejecting
You're
that person and what they
you're
have to
not. What
offer.
you're not. I think the part that, and I think this is the part that people miss. Period. And I just said this 10 seconds ago. The relationship. Look at the relationship as a separate entity. The relationship is this same thing as marriage. See, people don't realize that when two people come together, a third thing is made. Then that third thing is a hybrid. Anytime you take two things and put them together and make a third thing, that's called a hybrid. So when
Mhm.
two people come together and get married, the marriage is a separate thing. Look at the marriage as a person. So each individual person's job is to take care of the marriage. We're so busy looking at each other that we're missing. That's why the marriage is not working, because you're not taking care of it's like having a baby. It's like having a
Mhm.
baby. So look at the marriage as a baby. So in when you're taking care of a baby, it's both persons' job to take care of a baby. The relationship, I'm an individual, and that's why I keep saying that. People are missing the individual. I'm an individual person. And this is another reason why relationships don't work. I am an individual. You're supposed to be looking at me and treating me as an individual. You're mistaking this individual that is a part of a relationship. The relationship is the baby. We're both
Mhm.
supposed to be serving the baby. So if it does not work out, the relationship is separate from me, the individual. So as an individual, I'm going to look at what is it that I didn't do as far as the baby is concerned. Did I supposed to feed the baby? I didn't. Was I whatever? However, you cannot take rejection of you. It's the rejection of the relationship.
No, we're talking about the actual person because that's what it is. You don't want to be in a relationship with this person, with this individual. You don't want to be here.
No,
That is a
you
form of
don't want
rejection.
to be in you don't want to be in a relationship because there's something, either something is missing or something is not. however, whatever the reason is. But
Uh-huh.
like it said, it said when someone breaks up with you or says no to taking the relation, it's not necessarily you as a
Not
person.
necessarily that one, those are not guaranteed words. Two, we're still talking about the person and what they have to offer. You're rejecting that person. They don't qualify. It's still a rejection, whether it's a soft one or a hard one.
It's not. It's not
It is.
a rejection of the person. It's a rejection of the relationship,
It's okay. So you can't. Well, I mean, yes, you can be
which
in a
is the
relationship by
reason
yourself, but
why.
we're talking about
Which is
someone
the
else,
which is
which
no.
again, you're
Which
rejecting
is
that
the
person.
which is the reason why you said after the relationship breaks up, you can go back to being friends. Why? Because it's not the person, it's the relationship with the person.
No, we're not together because again, it was not working out.
The
Because
relationship,
somewhere, because the we can't
the
be in a relationship.
relationship didn't work out.
be-
So how can you go back being
So
friends then?
how can you be in a relationship with two people? It takes two people. Yes, you can be in a relationship with self, but again, we're talking about people. You need another person theoretically in a marriage. Divorce is rejection. I mean, I know people out here marrying trees and they marrying themselves in other words, but
It is not
traditionally,
rejection. Do
it
not
is.
take it personally.
No, no one's talking
Not
about taking it
rejection.
personally at all, but it still is a form of rejection, whether it's sugarcoated or not. A no is a no. That's it.
Well,
No, I can't
well,
go outside. No, I can't handle candy, or no, I can't, buy this knife or get this gun. Like it's all a form of rejection. Whether it's again how you take it is something different. Now, no, don't take it personally because rejection at some point in time is a part of life.
not rejection doesn't really have to even be a negative thing.
No,
Rejection,
no one's saying it's negative. No one's saying it's negative at all.
that's what I'm
It's a part.
saying.
It's a growing experience.
It doesn't have to be a negative thing if you don't
Agreed.
take it personally. The relationship didn't work out, for whatever reason that it didn't work out. Don't take it personally because this is part of
Do
the bounce
not.
back. Do not take it
Yes.
personally and just do an assessment to see, what why if it's important. Sometimes things don't work out. It's not even.
It's not because one, you want to get out of it anyway, and it's like you know what, you did me a favor, so thank you. There's some like that also goes with closure. It's not necessary. The person has given you the answers the entire time when you were in the relationship. They don't want to talk to you. Okay, all right, fine. They want to go out. They want to go be with somebody else and cheat. That is like this is your closure. Having a sit down conversation and figuring out why you weren't enough or why did you choose this particular person. Help your self esteem. Don't do it. Ain't nothing to talk about.
Oh, is that the close out? Is that the
That's the
close?
closure. That's it.
All right. Well, that's it.
Focus on
Bounce
focus
back.
on yourself.
Bounce back. It don't take it personally. The
Do not take
relationship
it
didn't work
personally.
out. The marriage didn't work out. Just assess it. Uh, just don't really trip about it. Just learn from it and grow from it. Become a better person because of it. And that's all I got. And we will see you guys next Sunday.